Yay! The Shark King.
I know. The microphone's not on, or is it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Great. All right, let me get set up. Hola. ¿Qué tal? That's it. So yeah, thank you very much for coming out to this inaugural convention. I'm very excited to be here. My name is Jim Lee. I'm a comic book artist. I also work at DC Comics, but I've worked at Marvel Comics and Image Comics and lots of other companies too. Has anyone here been to a panel of mine before in person?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where have you guys been? Like, I knew I had to find you, and now I've come to the right place. Are most of you from? I was saying it wrong way. Malaga.
Yeah.
So, if you're not familiar with this panel, I'll wait for them. So I usually take questions from the audience, and then I try to draw at the same time, and then at the end I will give the artwork away to people in the audience. And that used to be much more of a common thing, especially at European conventions. I don't know if many of you have been to other Comic-Cons, but in the shows in the 1990s, very ancient times, 2000s, people would draw. I went to Angoulême outside of Paris, and I think I drew for like 8 hours, like free sketches for fans. And we don't do that anymore. People usually charge for sketches, but I still want to continue the tradition of giving artwork away. I also love drawing artwork in front of a live audience. You can go on YouTube and social media and see me draw, but I feel like there's something extra special in actually seeing the work in person, being in the same room, having this shared experience. So hopefully you guys will get something out of it. And for those of you, any aspiring artists here? No? Yeah. Okay. Good luck. No, it's hard business. No, so maybe if you have questions about the craft, how to break into comics. I have a lot of usual answers I give, but I want to try to, since I'm in Spain, I want to try to deliver something a little different and maybe something a little more unique. So I'm anxious to see what kind of questions you guys have. So are there people with microphones, or oh, yes, okay. Okay, we have 2 people with microphones. So if you want to speak or ask a question, just raise your hand and I'm going to start drawing. Oh, you know, maybe, does everyone know who I am here? I don't know. Who's here in the wrong room by accident? Yes, anyone? No? You guys all know? Okay.
Hello?
No, you don't know.
No, yes, I know.
You know.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get her
First of
attention.
all, it's a real honor to meet
Don't
you.
be shy. Come on.
My name is Leonard from Spain.
Yes.
And should I ask this in English or in Spanish?
Spanish it if you want. I just want to understand.
Okay, I have a question about what do you do first? Do you think you're more an artist of, how can I say that, about characters or about the decorados? Backgrounds or characters first?
Backgrounds or characters first?
Yeah.
When I draw a page?
Yes.
Characters first. Always. Right? So, let's see. Show you. 1 second, there's a lot of interesting pictures on my phone. No, it's okay. Don't worry, I'll find them. I'm on holiday, so yes. And you guys know the story why I'm here. No, and I'm only here Sunday because I'm actually on holiday for real. My wife and I are on a cruise ship. We started in Barcelona 2 days ago. Yeah. And then we went to Ibiza, very quiet island. And then we took the ship from Ibiza to Cartagena this morning. And the ship will come to Malaga tomorrow morning. So it was 1 day off. And so I was like, Cartagena must be very close to Malaga. I'll just get off on Cartagena and walk over to Malaga. And, it was a 4.5-hour drive. So I got off the ship this morning, and if you looked at my Instagram story, it was all dark when I woke up. And then we took a 4.5-hour drive out here, and it's beautiful. It's just wonderful. So, yeah. I had only been to Barcelona before in Spain, like maybe 4 or 5 times. And I didn't understand that they had a very different accent than you guys outside. So anyway, it's very interesting. I'm learning things every day. I'm trying to find the page. Okay. All right. You want to come up? I think it's safe. Okay. So if you look, these are 4 pages I had to finish before I came on this trip. And so can you see this? Yes. So that's a Batmobile, and that's Batman here. But you can see these figures are a little tighter. This one's a little tighter. So I start with that. And so even here, it's a fight in a stairwell. The fire escape I didn't really draw in. It's just but the figures are all done. And so sometimes I go and finish the figures, but there's just a bunch of stuff in between. But I know what it is. It's the backgrounds. And I do that because if I'm under a deadline, I'll show you the final page. Hold on. So here, this is a final page of the one before, right? You saw the Batmobile. So the Batmobile, there's buildings and rain. This was Batgirl and Huntress here, and you can see the figures are done. So all this background, the water, the rain, the droplets, the trash, the graffiti here, right? All that comes at the end. And the reason why is when I'm doing, the figures are the most important. When you read a comic book, you look at the faces first, the figures next, and then you take in the rest of the information. And so I have to make sure that the figures look as good as possible, and they reflect the emotional sort of, emotional content that I want them to express. And I know that if I run out of time on the deadline, or I'm very tired because it's like 3 in the morning, if I draw a window that's a little wrong, or no window, most people won't notice. Except for the jerks on the internet. They go, hey, the windows, where are the windows? And so it's really prioritizing what's most important. And I don't just do that on the page. The whole book I draw out of sequence. So I will draw the most important pages first. And then the less important pages I draw later, because again, when you read a comic book, you're going to be most invested in the big scenes, like the fight scenes or the emotional, dramatic scenes. And some of the pages are more storytelling. They kind of get you from point A to point B in the story, and you're not going to really care as much. And so that's how I really try to maximize the amount of time I have. Not everyone does it that way, and sometimes I make mistakes, like the background will change from one page to another because I drew them 2 weeks apart. But I found that over the years, this is the best way for me to approach doing the stories and maintain the quality of the anatomy Because you don't want to read a comic book and go, page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is really great. By the time you get page 22, he obviously got tired, ran out of time because there's no buildings, no windows, and one giant face, you know. And so I want to prevent that and kind of trick the audience into thinking that I had energy for every page throughout the issue. Yes? Next.
Hi. I was going to ask. I was going to ask only one question, but then you said you went to Barcelona, and I'm going to ask another question.
Yes.
First, which is your favorite character to draw? And also, did you like Barcelona?
Very hard. You're asking very hard questions. What is your favorite character?
To draw. Would you? No, my favorite.
Yeah, your favorite.
I have two. Jason Todd and Tim Drake.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're my favorite characters too. So. Yeah, I got to draw Tim Drake on the cover of the Jorge Jimenez Batman stuff, and then obviously Jason Todd is a central antagonist of the Batman Hush 2 storyline. So I don't really have one favorite. I mean, Batman is fun to draw, but if
I'm not asking what your favorite character is.
Oh,
I'm asking what is your favorite character to draw?
To draw? Yes. Yeah, it's the same. There's no characters okay, yes. So like Spider-Man,
Yes.
I think he's a character from another company. I like the character, but I hate drawing him because all the stupid webs, right? Come on, you know? So when they made the black costume, I was like, okay, I can draw a Spider-Man now. And now he's back in the regular, so it's no good. So sometimes the costumes are complicated, but usually if I like the character, I like drawing the character because, you know, it's the personality of the character that makes me excited for the, you know, for the costume, for drawing the character. So, but even that said, and Batman is one of my favorites to draw, if I draw Batman over and over again, it gets a little repetitious, and so it's nice to draw Robin. That's why Batman and Robin are so fun to draw together. Wolverine and Jubilee, Magneto, and Rogue, right? Superman and Crypto, right? So very different kinds of characters, different personalities. That's what's fun, is the juxtapositioning of two different kinds of characters. If you're drawing a book where everyone is similar, it gets very dull quickly. Yes. And the second question, Barcelona? Yeah, pretty good soccer team. I heard. No. I went, the first time I went to Barcelona with my wife, we landed, it was the evening of the European Soccer Championship in Rome. You guys remember? And who won? Barcelona, that's right. It's a trick question. No, and when we got to the city, people were going crazy, like, you know, with flags, and I was like, what is going on? And this is not for me, I don't think. So it was, I love the passion of the city, and obviously it's a beautiful city, the architecture, I just like walking around looking at the buildings. And I love a good ham sandwich, so that's good too. And yeah, lovely times in Barcelona. Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Here, just in front of you. Hi. Hello.
Oh, yes.
Just a couple of questions. First one, if you remember, I don't know if you watched Kill Bill. What do you think about the monologue at the end of Kill Bill about Superman?
Oh.
And, and second question, have you been introduced to a Spanish character, which is a satire spoof of Superman called Super Lopez? Which is a character drawn by a very good, you know, fantastic artist called Han. Have you been introduced to it?
No.
You should check it. It's amazing, Super Lopez.
Okay.
Spaniards
I have to
love
ask,
their things.
it's not
Spaniards love their things.
for adults.
Yeah.
It won't get me in trouble when I return to the United States. My bag? Okay. I'll check it out. But what was the first part of your question?
If you remember the final monologue in Kill Bill.
Oh, I don't, but could you recite it for me? Is that possible?
I remember a part of it. It's Bill said, it's not a great drawing, but the history is great. It's unique. It's because it's the opposite to the rest of the heroes.
I don't even remember a Superman monologue in it.
It was talking to the bride.
I haven't seen the movie in a long time.
Talking to the bride, he said, you know, Bill, which is the final, the one that she wants to kill.
Yeah.
And he says, you're like Superman, because Superman is the opposite to every other superhero. Because it's the Superman, Clark Kent is the alter ego.
Yeah.
And Superman is the real him. So it's unique, that thing is unique in, different to any other superhero.
I think it's the other way around. I think Clark Kent is the real character, and Superman is the mask.
Yeah, but he says that because Superman is Superman without anything, because he's already Superman. He didn't become Superman. He was already Superman. And Clark Kent is like, for him, it's like his costume. That was what the monologue says. It's not me. Okay? That's Quentin Tarentino words. It's not me.
Okay.
But he says when Superman dresses as Clark Kent, that's his costume. He's to be involved into the rest of humans. But who he really is Superman, and that's on the movie. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Tarantino works.
Yeah. No.
That's the difference from any other superhero. But you didn't remember the monologue, so it's like.
No, I remember it now.
Okay.
But I disagree.
Okay.
But I know it's not your thoughts. It's Quentin Tarantino.
That's right.
So I need to call him.
Please, that would be great.
What the hell? No. I think because to me, Batman is the character and Bruce Wayne is the mask.
All right.
And I always felt Superman was the opposite. That in his heart of hearts, he's a Midwestern, very polite, kind, generous person that was raised by two really incredible adults.
All right.
And Superman is his mask, right? You don't know exactly who he is behind the mask, other than he is a symbol for good and justice and truth. But you don't really know who he is.
Uh-huh.
And in a way, certainly in modern storytelling, that's a little scary to people like Lex Luthor. Is like, he's an alien, I don't know who to... But if Lex knew Clark Kent, he might trust him more, because Clark Kent is unabashedly 100% the most human of us and the kindest and most altruistic, right? So, yeah, I kind of disagree, so maybe...
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Good question.
La chica del micrófono desapareció.
Hello.
Yes?
Hi. Hi, Mr. John Lee. How are you?
Está allá.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
My name is Lee, and my question is, what are your favorite Batman or X-Men works?
Which one of yours? Yeah, I don't know. What's your favorite one? It's hard for me to answer. I don't want to disappoint my fans, and also I don't really think about these questions. So it's easier for me to build off of your thoughts. Like, I don't wake up and go like, oh my gosh, it's Tuesday. What was my favorite X-Men story that I drew? Like, oh, it was definitely 268. You know, so I really don't think about my work except when I come to conventions and people bring me copies of the comics, and I go like, oh, I remember drawing this. That was me a long time ago. So I don't know, what is there a favorite issue or storyline that you had?
X-Patrol, something?
X-Patrol?
Yeah, X-Men, yeah.
I don't know if I drew that one, but that's a good story, yeah. Oh, that's right, you have to translate it.
Uncanny X-Men.
Uncanny X-Men. Yeah, you know, I think X-Men 268 is one that I like, because that one was I had drawn 3 issues, I think, 4 issues before that, 248, and then Acts of Vengeance, which was 267, 68, 69.
Nice.
Is that right? No, 250. I did do these comics, I remember. It was 257, 8, 9, I think, and then 268 was the first one of my regular run with Captain America and Black Widow. But when I did those other comics, I didn't talk to Chris Claremont, and so 268 was the first work that we did together after I spoke with him on the phone. And I was very nervous, and before then there was no text messaging, no email. Maybe there was email. So I had to call him to talk to him, and I had like a list of questions. I was very prepared, and I had a flow chart. If he says yes, then I go to this question. If he says no, I go to this question, because I couldn't trust myself to stop, I was like, oh my God, you're Chris Claremont! And so I wanted to be cool and have my questions. And so in that conversation that we had, we were just talking about different things, and he said, like, what do you want to draw? And I'm like, what do you mean, what do I want to draw? Like, you mean in the next issue, that we're doing next month? And he said, yeah. And I was like, you don't know what you want to write yet? Like, I thought, when you're a kid and you're a fan, you think he's planned out 10 years of X-Men storylines. He didn't even know what was happening in the next month. And so it was like very shocking to me, but it was also very cool because I think he had been working on the book for so long, like, at that point he was like a master chef. It's like, give me some carrots and some beef and this vegetable and I'll cook up something amazing. And so that was really the challenge. He said, what do you want to draw? I said, like, I like Black Widow, I like Captain America, I like World War II, And so he put together this story based on my random choices. And so to me, that story always has a particular place in my heart because it was such a unique and sort of eye-opening introduction to the world of professional storytelling, right? Because when you're a fan, you think, when you read it, it's like, wow, this is so carefully plotted and so tight, and I love these twists and turns. He must have been planning this for years, because how else could he have written something so amazing if it didn't take 5 years? And it's like, he wrote it in one weekend, right? So, but he's so good, and you don't know that when you're a fan and a kid, right? And so that was a really interesting issue to work on.
Thank you.
Con ganas, papi, con ganas, con ganas. Levanta la mano, levanta la mano. Vamos.
Over here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I'm Alicia. I'm from Madrid, and I want to be an artist at some point in my life. And I would like to ask you if you think that art school is like important, or that you should, if you can make your way into art industry without the studies to,
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think art school is worth your time if you want to go to art school and be around other young people who also have a shared aspiration to be in a hyper creative, community of peers and teachers where everything is about learning about art. I wish I had an experience like that. I did not. I was a psychology major, so I was around a lot of weird, crazy people, and it's still fun. So I think it's worth it, but obviously it's expensive. And if you know you want to do it, but if you're also very self-motivated, like if you are disciplined and can watch a video about painting, read a book about, drawing, and do it yourself, then maybe it's not necessary. But if you find that you want inspiration and you like being taught things in a personal way, there's no better environment than art college, right, or school, right? So, and really, you only get to be young once and be in an environment where you can learn. So I would always advocate to go to school and learn if you can afford it, but I don't think it's necessary. When I was trying to break into comics, when I got into Marvel, they didn't ask me if I went to art school. They didn't ask me what my grades were, in college. And if I had known, I would have not studied so much. But anyway, yeah, so But I think the real threat is really AI art. So I don't worry about art school. Worry about AI. Because that's gonna have.
Thank you.
Hi, Jim. To your right.
To my right.
Right.
Yes. That way.
Left.
To my right. Yes.
Your left.
My left.
Hi, Jim. My name is Rafaela, and I'm looking what you're drawing,
Yes.
and I was, which is to you the most resemble Batman? Which actor?
Oh.
I mean.
Well, they're all very good friends of mine, so I don't want to offend them. Well, I think Christian Bale had the best growl. I liked his voice, yeah. I thought Robert Pattinson had a very good jawline. And if you think, I said this to, I think, someone at Warner Brothers. I said, you know, most of the time when you watch Batman on the screen, that's a stunt man, you know, doing everything. The actors, like, you see his face. The jawline is what's important because that's what you see. Everything else is covered. And then when he's fighting, you go like, wow, Christian Bale is like an amazing Batman. Like, that's a stunt double, right? So, I like Val Kilmer. He was also a very good jawline Batman artist. And Michael Keaton, I thought was very surprising because everyone hated him being cast in it, and he proved everyone wrong, which I think, if only people on the internet today could take that lesson to heart and not prejudge something. So to me, that's a classic example. Him and Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger, of course, was the Joker, not Batman. But the reactions to those castings were predominantly negative until the performances came in and everyone loved it, right? And so that's always, I wish more people learned something from that. But I don't know, who's your favorite Batman?
Well, from my perspective, Christian Bale, but I have a crush on Robert Pattinson, so I'm not partial about it.
We should give George Clooney another chance.
Me too. So.
So hi, in front of you. In front of you.
In front of me.
Look.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Hello.
sorry. Okay, yeah.
So hi, I am Alba. I am from the coast. So
Yes.
I want to ask you a more technical question from less experienced artist to a more experienced artist.
Sure.
Like when you're working on a big panel comic that has a really high sequence or very more complicated composition, how do you make it work to work in a kind of extra form that they are asking you for? Like, do you work it on a bigger page, then you do editing, take a photo, so that if it's more into the usual comic, you know, kind of format?
Yeah, I do it all I've tried all the different ways because when I was first breaking into the industry, I studied how people created their art because I had no idea that it was even drawn larger than smaller. And but I felt funny drawing something small, blowing it up and tracing it again. I felt like that was duplicative of my time and effort. So I also liked when I traced, if I drew something small and blew it up and traced it, I felt it lost a lot of energy from the initial idea to a final. And so I draw on the page, unless I make it too busy and then I have to start over, but that doesn't happen too often. I'm a professional. So so I draw it, and usually when I draw the figures, I do it very loose because I want the energy to be there, and then I lose that energy as I start tightening up the figure, as I start doing the anatomy and stuff like that. But I do it on the board.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
I also wanted to ask you another question. Speaking of color, you know, because there had been a big movement when it comes to the digital art and traditional art when it comes to the users and looking through comics. What are your thoughts about that?
I missed the first part of your question.
Okay, sorry. I mean,
okay.
like, you know, there's a big movement of digital artists coming to the field and showing other work, especially when, you know, Jason Thomas use like watercolors, pencils, and you know. So, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on traditional or non?
Yeah, you know, both, honestly, working through the comic world and all that.
Yeah, well, what do you like better? Like digital? Or, no, I'm just curious.
Honestly, I think a mix of both, because I am not too good when it comes to digital.
Yes.
I feel like doing the line art, and mostly the web works through, you know, I work on the line art, I ink it, then I like to sometimes scan it, and then work through the color in digital.
Yes,
Because it helps.
I like that approach. I would say that obviously I grew up drawing everything on paper. My preference is to draw everything on paper.
Me too.
Yeah, see, we're aligned. And when I work, but I do work digitally. I use like Procreate on iPad, and I've used obviously Cintiq and Photoshop. But when I do that, I feel like it's work. I feel like I'm sitting at a desk in front of a computer, and it's less creative. It's more like editing, right? Like, especially with color, it's great because you can put colors and change them quickly. It would be impossible to do that on paper, and you know, be very time-consuming. So there's benefits to working digitally in terms of making changes and editing things. Like maybe if I draw a costume, rather than redraw it 10 times, I can just draw it once, undo, add new lines, right? And create lots of different versions very, very quickly. But for actual drawing pleasure and work, I like drawing on paper. I like getting, you know, pencil on the side of my hand. Yeah. You know, that's the job I signed up for. You know, working digitally, I feel like I'm drawing on glass. You know, and it just does not feel. It doesn't remind me of my childhood. Like when I draw comics, I'm teleported to being 10 years old, drawing on the floor in my kitchen while my mom's cooking dinner, and I got my comic book. I just read this comic book and it inspired me to start drawing a story, and that's the nostalgia that I feel when I create, and I don't have that when I work digitally. But anyway, I was going to answer a question around, someone asked about layouts, right?
I'm not sure it was me, but...
Yeah, so like this is an original board, right? So
yes.
Yeah, so things start out very loose. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can now. Thank you.
Right, so things start out loose for energy, and then you start tightening them up. And then this is the page from Hush, right? And so it's still not done yet. And so like this figure is complete, but these boots, I still need to put shadow on them. And this one is mostly complete. So it's really, and so like the Huntress here, you can see the figure work's done, but I haven't added any of the rendering or the shadows, right? But all the construction is there, and so the rest of this I can do while, you know, I'm eating dinner or something. So, and then send it out. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Hi Jim, you're from Barcelona too?
Yes.
After Flashpoint, they will make the new redesign of the uniforms of the heroes, district heroes.
Yes.
And now I have the necessity, I have the necessity to make a double tricky question. Yeah.
Double tricky.
Yeah. Why take off the red pants to Superman? And do you prefer with or without red pants?
A casa or no? I'm trying to even know what you say it. At home or at the work?
It's a controversial.
It's a personal preference, you know.
Superman with a red pants, you know.
Well, if you're trying to get, you know, pregnant or something, studies say no red trunks is better, but I don't know. I like both, you know. I've been doing this for 38 years now. It's like music. I don't know when young people are so passionate about music, like if you like this band, you're nothing to me. I hate you. We can't hang out. You get older, it's like it's music to listen to. Oh, it's just, it's so like the costumes to me. I used to be very specific. Batman with short ears, shorter cape, light blue, gray. But now you don't want to keep drawing the same thing over and over. So I'm doing a Batman that has longer ears. He's got the yellow symbol on his chest, and so it's nice having choices. Like when you wake up, you can pick different outfits for the day. So the fact that we have two versions of Superman, one with red trunks, one without red trunks, I know it's a very polarizing topic, but at the end of the day, I don't have a specific choice. But I helped introduce the no trunk because I thought it was important to introduce that for new audiences, right? That perhaps the characters look kind of old-fashioned. But what happens is as soon as you make a change, everyone wants the original, right? New Coke was supposed to be the Coke, and then everyone wanted classic Coke, and they got rid of New Coke. So, I don't know, which one do you like better?
Classic with pants, of course.
Oh,
For me,
more modern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, more realistic.
No, that is the
No.
classical uniform. Is
With the red, with the red or without? With. Oh, you like the red.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can't be friends, but okay. No, I like them both. I like them both. The red. Yeah, it probably visually looks more interesting because it's all blue. Can look a little boring. But I think we were trying to do something new, like a fresh start to the DC universe, and so we wanted to make changes. I didn't necessarily agree with every change, but we wanted to make sure that there were both story and aesthetic changes that were different to differentiate pre-New 52 and 52. Okay?
Hi.
Yes, hello?
Right here.
Hello?
How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you.
Okay.
How are you?
First time I'm doing this.
Yeah?
I'm pretty good because
Yeah.
I haven't seen you. Because the first ever DC thing I ever saw was the comics Hush.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask why you decided to give Jason Todd that mature-looking aspect. Because he looks really old and
Yeah, I know.
I just wanted to know why.
I thought about this as I was drawing Jason. I did think like he's pretty old for a kid that was a kid when he was recruited by Batman. Then I thought, like, how old is Batman? That this guy looks like he's 34. But I think it's all the steroids he's taking. I don't know why. I think.
Wibbly wobbly.
I think some time had passed, right? So I think it's to make Damian and Tim, who I perceive as being younger than, right? Like, what am I trying to say? It used to be characters, they always looked the same age, they never changed, right? But then once Robin became Nightwing, how did that happen and Batman still look young, right? And so it's a little confusing. So I would advocate not thinking too much about it because there's no good answer. but the answer to your question is Jason Todd is the second Robin, and so he needs to look older so that Damian can look younger. Right. Because if they're all the same age, then what is Batman doing? Like, excuse me?
To give more experience.
It's to show that he's more experienced, that he's evolved and he's graduated from being a Robin to his own character. But he probably is a little older looking, but he also works out a lot. If you work out a lot like I do, you look a little older, right? So that's what happens.
Okay, thank you very much and have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Hi.
Okay.
Well, I'm Anna. My question is, hypothetically,
Where?
in the hypothetical case,
Yes. Hello. Yes. Okay.
you want to,
That's okay.
In the fictional case, where no one wants to read more about superheroes, what type of character or stories would you like to tell?
If there was a world where no one wanted to read superhero comic books, what would I want to create?
Yeah.
That's a very dark question. If the world were destroyed and there was no more food, what would you eat? Because I live and breathe superhero comics, you know, like, I'm gonna have trauma now answering this question. What would you want to read? You're saying like if maybe, you know, there's a term superhero fatigue, that maybe if there's superhero fatigue, maybe something else. I think, look, I was just kidding. DC Comics, our history and legacy is not just superheroes. I think until like 1970, I think only 40% of the DC line was superheroes. The rest were romance comics, horror comics, science fiction, fantasy, right? So there's a whole heritage of doing other kinds of stories, whether it's Sergeant Rock, you know, so I think, and we still publish, you know, we're bringing back Vertigo, and so we're going to have a lot more than just superheroes come 2026. So if I couldn't draw a superhero comic, yeah. I would love to draw a Conan the Barbarian type comic book, like a fantasy comic book, just swords, sorcery. Yeah. So I've talked to some writers about possibly working together on something like that. Also, science fiction would be a lot of fun to do, but I could do that within the context of Legion of Superheroes. I like those characters. Those are superheroes, but they're set in the 31st century, so you have to think about what the world looks like, you know, technology, clothing, architecture, everything. And so I think that's the fun of doing something different, is that you can unlock different creative parts of your brain. So, does that satisfy you?
I want to know your favorite DC girl.
Excuse me?
Your favorite?
My favorite DC girl, female character?
Yeah.
I have lots, but I would say, very good question. Saturn Girl, I like Saturn Girl. You don't know Saturn Girl. Batgirl. Supergirl, yeah. Catwoman. Catwoman is a lot of fun to draw, yeah. I think we have room for one more question, and then we can give these away.
Hello, Vic.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Where am I looking?
Here.
Here. Oh, here. Okay. Yeah.
How much fun was to draw All-Star Batman with scenes like the Yellow Room? How was for you working with Frank Miller?
It was one of those literally, like, you know, pinch yourself, am I dreaming kind of experience. Obviously, Frank was a god to me when I was a kid in St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis is like the middle of America, and I never thought I would ever meet him, certainly not ever work in comics, much less get to work with him. And so it was a culmination of a lot of hard work and dreams coming true, and so it was wonderful getting to work with Frank. And it was very nerve-wracking, because he would write a story and he would write something out, the script, and I would read it, and I can imagine what he would draw. And now I had to draw something that was 10 times shittier than what he could draw, and so that really did not make me feel great about myself artistically, but it was really exciting to get to work with him. And it was funny because that issue with Green Lantern in the green room, or the yellow room, is very similar to that conversation with Chris Claremont. I was hanging out with Frank at Comic-Con in Chicago. We went to get dinner, and then we were just driving around the city looking for maybe a place to hang out, like a bar or something, I don't know, but we were just talking about, I don't know if I should say this because I'm the president of DC, but like how stupid Green Lantern is as a character. But let me say, so the Green Lantern fans here, I can tell because not everyone applauded. So I'm sorry. When I say stupid, I think it comes from the heart of like, as kids we love this character, but when you really break it down, why does he have a power where only the color yellow can stop him? He can create anything in the world. He can lift entire cities up with his ring and fly to the other galaxies. But if there's something yellow, oh no, you know. And so it's a very comical. It's not stupid. It's silly, right? And it's silly because it was something that, you know, superheroes were written for little kids, and so they're very childlike, I think, in their simplicity. And so the idea of yellow being a weakness for a kid makes sense, but as an adult, you know, for you and me, you know, like sophisticated people, it seems strange. And so we're just joking, like, it's so easy to be Green Lantern. You just paint the whole room yellow, and we're just making jokes. And I thought we were just having fun. And then I got the script, and he took all the ideas and he put them into the story. I had no idea that we were, you know, working professionally, and that I didn't get paid for my work, but you know, it's cool. It's cool. So it was it's a fun episode, and if you notice, they kind of got rid of that whole yellow weakness because I think at the end of the day, that's a silly way to defeat a character that is powered by willpower. It should, you know, the stories need to be more sophisticated than that. You see that all across the board in, you know, in all our storytelling, right? We try to eliminate all the more childlike or childish sort of contrivances that, you know, came along with the creation of these characters. I mean, the first Green Lantern, his weakness was
wood.
Wood. That's even worse than yellow. Like, you know, this table's made of wood. You know, like anyone could defeat him. So, yeah. Anyway. Okay. So that's it. Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to ask people for very strange things, and if you have the strange thing, and I see your hand first, you will get the sketch. So does anyone? No, I haven't asked. My Spanish is not so good. Okay, so that's smart though. I like that. I put the hand up first. Very clever here. Okay, does anyone have a straw? A straw. A straw. You have a straw? Can I see?
Prove it.
Prove it. Come on.
Is it a metal straw?
Plastic.
Plastic. That's not so good for the environment. So no, that's. You have it? That's it. Okay, come on up. Yes. Which one would you like? Batman? Thank you very much for your Okay, and then the next one, does anyone have a keychain? You have a keychain. No, hold on. With dice on them. Dice? Dice? You, sir? Yes? Yes? Yes. Black shirt in the middle? Do you have it? Oh, he's asking his friend? No, he's going, no, I didn't understand. Right here, the man in the blue? You have it? A keychain with dice? Can I ask why? Oh. Huh? Oh. Yes, this is very fantastic. Yes. Can you see? Is it dice? Close enough? Can I see? Oh yeah. Oh, it's a 20-sided die. Yeah, but she's got 20-sided. You have 8-sided.
Geometry struck again.
You snooze, you lose.
To go. I just want to say,
many role players
the
here
girl
today,
that was
it
dressed up
seems.
as Wonder Woman, the fantastic costume. I'm sorry things weren't necessarily lost in translation. But I want to thank all of you guys for coming out. This was an incredible experience. I hope to come back. You guys are a fantastic group of fans, and I hope we have a great Comic-Con.
Yay!
There you go.